policies in the future that you know that will harm my seniors, my veterans here in Nevada, and all of our seniors and veterans across this nation? Can you look us in the eye and commit to being sure that they have on-time delivery?
Well, I'm working towards on-time delivery, ma'am. Yes, I can commit to that.
Thank you. And so did you do any analysis about the fees if mail is late, the late fees that people would get when they paid their rent or their car payment or their utility bill if the mail is slowed down, and the impact that the charges and those fees would have on working families? Is there any analysis about the impact of late delivery by you on that, sir? Yes or no, please.
The analysis that we did was that if we moved the mail on schedule, that all late deliveries would have been improved. That's the analysis.
Now, obviously, that isn't the case, so we need to continue this.
For a variety of reasons.
Did you, our deployed service members routinely cast their ballots by mail. Did you specifically analyze how your policy changes would impact our servicemen and women across this country and across the globe, how your changes would impact them, sir?
Senator, the analysis we did would show that we would improve service to every constituent.
So that's great. So can you provide me by this Sunday, if I understand you correctly, you have an analysis that will show that this should have improved it, although we are finding out through thousands and thousands of contacts to our office, to our connections, that it has not been the case. So this is frankly unacceptable, and I would like to see the analysis that this was based on to our offices.
I just want to kind of go through and give you a chance to respond to some of these false narratives. First of all, let's talk about that election notice was sent out by, I believe, the Postal Service's General Counsel. One notice before you became Postmaster General, one notice, I think, after you assumed your duties. Talk about what that notice was about. And, from my standpoint, how important it was that the Postal Service does inform election officials of what your basic capabilities are so they can factor that into their deadlines.
For the opportunity to speak about this. First, I'd like to emphasize that there has been no changes in any policies with regard to election mail for the 2020 election. As you stated, this letter was sent out before my arrival, simply to help educate state election boards and eventually the American people. There was a plan put together to eventually make this a broader statement, so the American people had awareness on how to successfully vote. This letter, very similar letter, was sent out in the 2016 election by the former Deputy Postmaster General. We recognize that during this pandemic, when I arrived, there was great concern about the increase in volume. So we further emphasized the interaction. We had over 50,000 contacts before my arrival with state election boards to help them understand the mail processing procedures of the Postal Service. Since my arrival, we've established and extended a task force. We have put up a website, or putting up a website within a day, and we are diligently working to ensure the American public and to ensure a successful election.
I've got questions about independence and transparency. Prior to implementing the changes that you put forth in the postal system, did you discuss those changes, or are there a potential impact on the November election with the president or anyone at the White House? And remind you, you're under oath.
I have never spoken to the president about the Postal Service other than to congratulate me when I accepted the position.
Did you speak or discuss any of these changes with Secretary Mnuchin?
During the discussion and negotiating the note, I told them I'm working on a plan, but I never discussed the changes that I made. I just said I'm working on a plan to improve service and gain cost efficiencies. But no grave detail other than that was about it.
Prior to implementing the changes, did you discuss these changes or their impact on the election with any Trump campaign officials?
No, sir. These changes in our total analysis here and going forward, and remember, I'm one new person in the organization with the whole structure around me, an operating structure, an executive team around me that are involved in these decisions. Okay, and moving forward, trying to have any negative impact on the election is an outrageous claim.
A side effect of your vision for the Postal Service. But let me tell you about the people who are forced to bear the brunt of your decisions. Beth from Ada, Michigan, works for a company that produces educational materials for healthcare workers. Beth's company started seeing serious delivery problems and switched to overnight shipping, which has almost doubled their shipping cost. And between these delays and the pandemic, they have had to lay off multiple employees to help absorb these costs. Mary from Redford said her daughter has been getting her epilepsy medication through the mail, usually in 3 to 4 days. But because of changes you ordered, her latest refill shipped on July 20th, and it took 9 days to be delivered. When Mary's daughter realized the medication wasn't going to arrive on time, she tried to ration what few pills that she had left. And as a result, she suffered seizures and was transported to a hospital. These are just a few of my constituents who have shared their stories as part of my investigation. I have received more than 7,500 reports of delays from people across Michigan and across the country in just 2 weeks. They have written to me about skipping doses of their medication wasn't going to arrive on time. She tried to ration what few pills that she had left. And as a result, she suffered seizures and was transported to a hospital. These are just a few of my constituents who have shared their stories as part of my investigation. I have received more than 7,500 reports of delays from people across Michigan and across the country in just 2 weeks. They have written to me about skipping doses of their medication and their small businesses losing customers or having to lay off employees, all because of changes that you directed. Mr. Chairman, I move to enter into the hearing record an update on what my investigation is finding.
Without objection.
Mr. DeJoy, your decisions have cost Americans their health, their time, their livelihoods, and their peace of mind. I believe you owe them an apology for the harm you have caused, and you all of us, some very clear answers today. The country is anxious about whether the damage you have inflicted so far can be quickly reversed and what other plans you have in store that could further disrupt reliability and timely delivery from the Postal Service. If you plan to continue pursuing these kinds of changes, I think my colleagues and many of our constituents will continue to question whether you are the right person to lead this indispensable institution.